Welcome once again, Rocky. Um, it's it's an honor to have you back. I know we had your interview with you when you arrived in America, like earlier on. Is it last year, right? But your interview was so amazing, and a lot of people now they're seeing your video, and then people like, "Wow, 16 years, that's a long time." I was like, "Yeah, don't give up yet," you know. But it's really nice to have you back, do a follow-up interview to check in with you to see how you're doing, how things are going with you. So introduce yourself and tell us like how you're doing, how things are going in America for you right now, and then we'll go into the main things that we want to hear about, right?
All right, everyone. Hi, Rocky checking in here. I'm Private Two Raymond, United States Army. Uh, America is going on good. I mean, you can see from how I look, it's a good place, an awesome place, which I wish everybody come to America and experience, that joy of maybe achieving your dreams. Yeah, so now everything is going on. Okay.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice. But you know, one thing that I noticed that you've lost weight. Like
A
I
lot
can
of
see your trim
I
now.
lost I lost a lot of weight, like a lot of pounds. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
basic training. It's
Yes.
designed to make sure that you get shape and you get fit as to meet the army standards of always being mission ready, always, always, all the time.
Oh, okay. So guys, Rocky is in the US Army, and today we basically wanted to learn a little bit about his journey, how he entered, you know, the things that he went through, things that he expected, and then the things that he did not expect, right? I remember when I had a conversation with you, you said you were looking for a job and you were waiting for your green card and stuff. So, can you just walk us through your journey, right? When you went to the recruiter, the things you had to do, the documents you had to show them. So, let's talk about just the recruiter when you went to see the recruiter, and then we'll go on to the other stuff.
All right. Okay, so I've always wanted to join the United States Army for as long as possible, and God being faithful, I came here. When I came here, I noticed that my dreams were being threatened. Like people were suggesting me to do different things. They were like, "Oh, don't go into the army." And I was like, you know what? I could make the world's money, but my soul will not be at rest if I've not put on that uniform.
Mhm.
So I definitely took the bold step to join. At that time, I had a friend who was from Ghana. He had already enlisted. So I reached out to him. He gave me a recruiter's phone number. And by the way, you don't need to work with a recruiter from your state. You can work with a recruiter anywhere else.
Oh,
The
okay.
first recruiter that I had was from Georgia. She
Mhm.
just told me to, first question that they're always going to ask you if you have a green card before even going forward. So if
Okay.
you see, yeah, you have a green card, the next question is they're going to ask you for your socials. They're going to ask you for your passport. Yeah, I guess those were the major documents that I submitted, and that's it.
Okay. But did they ask you for your school certificate, anything for?
That comes when you have gone deep into the conversation because when she asks you for that information, she's just going to profile you and get you on in the system to be able to take the ASVAB exam.
Oh, okay, okay. So it was like this was just earlier on when you went to
Yeah,
just talk to the recruiter and they just wanted your green card, they wanted your social security card,
yeah,
right?
my
Could you
passport.
have just told them the social security number without giving them the card, or they wanted to see the
So
physical?
you can definitely tell them, but I guess also they also needed to put it into the system because the army wants to have everything. Then
Oh,
I also had to sign my social security card because I've never signed it before. So I had to sign it before sending it to her. I mean, you
oh,
don't need to bother because they have security clearance to handle data, like
oh,
public data. So it's they're
oh,
very safe.
okay, so that means that if anybody is going to talk to the recruiter, if you don't have your social security card, maybe when you go, you can tell them, but they would definitely need the physical card. And
Yeah,
you must sign your social security card because at the back, I think it asks you for your signature. So sign
yeah,
that.
I guess it's a bad, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So after, but you mentioned that, you know, some people were suggesting different things, and this is very common among Africans. I know the Ghanaian community, when somebody arrives, people have the idea of what they want you to do, right? Then they'll be suggesting, you know, go and do this. Why don't you go and do this? Why don't you go? And you're like, I have my plan, okay?
Yeah,
Like, your people should let me live my dream. So I'm glad that you're somebody who is determined and focused, because from our past conversation, your message hasn't changed. It has always been in the military, and it
no,
hasn't changed. So
it hasn't.
if anybody thinks that they are going to talk you out of doing that, that person is wasting their time,
Oh
right?
no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I feel fulfilled in my soul doing what I do. I love my job,
Mhm.
and to be honest, I have zero regrets. Maybe I could regret not joining earlier,
Really?
looking at
Mhm.
where I want to be right now, but
Mhm.
that one I have zero regrets. The army is good and perfectly fine. Those who criticize the army are those who get into the army and tend to do maybe like things that are not right. Then they fall on the back end of the law. Then when the law catches up with them, they start crying foul. Oh, the army is bad, but the
Mhm.
army is gonna make sure you're good. If
Okay, that's really nice. So after you've gone, so initially after you've gone to see the recruiter, and then they've, you know, taken it. When was the time that you took the ASVAB? Like, when was
so,
it?
that was really difficult for me. I know some people say the ASVAB is easy because it's just high school math, but with me coming from Africa and with the kind of subjects that we do in our country, I didn't really even do math in my country, so it was a big deal. And the ASVAB has four major sections. Then it has some sections just added to it to increase the score. So, and then the ASVAB, you don't use a calculator. Everything is done by your head. You have to go back to the old way of doing the long division, the short division, multiplication, and everything. So it was really like a big deal. So I struggled a lot, but I was determined because I knew where I want to go to. So regularly, my recruiter is going to send me some practical exercises, which I'm going to take, I'm going to do, making sure I always send her back. Then she sends me my score. So with then, I felt like I was confident. But then again, you have to do your own research. Do not rely on what your recruiter tells you. Go to the back and do your own research. These recruiters are out there to make their numbers.
Yes.
They can put you into any job that they want just to get
Mhm.
their numbers and get their promotions up.
Yes.
It's like a market where you sell yourself. The higher ASVAB score you get, now you can sit as a king and get to decide what you want to do. And the recruiters are going to run helter skelter, make sure they
You
get.
get that. Yes, yes. That's definitely true. And so I think I would really recommend for people to practice their ASVAB. I mean, there are apps there, you know, some
You can
practice.
also get a book from Amazon, ASVAB for Dummies. I guess it's like $16.
Oh, okay.
That is a baker. So with that book, you can just study it. He has all the answers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You may meet the exams there. And then you can also go to the Play Store and download Quizlet,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to the English section about what certain words mean. You can also still study that and then go for your advert and score very high.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And I see where the struggle will be, especially like people from Africa, when you look at the ASVAB. For me, I was just lucky to have continued my education in America. Um, Oftentimes, American questions is not the obvious correct answer. The answer is not that obvious, right? Whatever
Yeah,
wrong miscalculation that you have, that answer is there, right? If they ask you, let's say there's a question and they say, if a car is going at a speed of 60 miles per hour and is going to a place that is within 120 miles and is going 60 miles per hour, whatever wrong answer you can come up with, it will be in the answer options, right?
yeah,
It
exactly.
will be in the answer option. If you don't take care, guess what? You are going to get it wrong. You will think that, oh, I did the calculation. The answer was there, so it was easy. And then by the time you're done, you realize that no,
Yeah, true. You
Yeah,
realize that yeah, you made a mistake. Yeah.
yes. And then they will not give you any formula. There's no formula in
You
there
didn't inform me.
for you
You
to,
just
be like, oh, they've given me the formula, so I just plug in the numbers and now. So just like you said, everything you're going to do it old school. You can ask for their um like paper to write on
yeah, they're
there.
gonna give you a pencil and a paper. That's all
Yes,
they give you. They
yes. Everything else is between you and your God, right?
yeah, exactly. Hello.
That's really so. Yeah, I hope that people will really prepare for that, so that when you go, you can get the best score. Because as Rocky is saying, your score will determine where the type of job you can.
Yeah,
I mean, you can
it's a
get a high score and decide to do just any job, right? But if
yeah,
you get a low score, you don't get to pick a job in a higher rank,
yeah. You
right?
don't
Like
get
a
to.
higher group. Yeah. So if you just make sure you score high so that you can be treated as a king, right? You tell them, I want this. If you don't give me, I no go.
Yeah,
Then,
it's a big bargain. Like it's a really big bargain because mine took months to get the job that I actually have.
oh,
It
okay. That's nice. Okay, so now after you have written your ASVAB, did you have to do it twice or
no,
you
I didn't take the ASVAB twice, but I was thinking about taking it twice because when
you
I took the ASVAB, I had a GT score of 90.
mm-hmm,
I was looking at the GT score of 110 because
mm-hmm,
of my predictions and where I'm seeing myself in the army. I mean, this is the only job I want to ever have. So
mm-hmm.
that was still okay. But then the job that I was having at that time, most of the jobs were just predictions and some had been taken. So
Oh,
what was left there was 92 gold. I mean, mind you, I know the army pays according to rank. No matter the job, there's somebody who sits
mhm,
in the office, somebody does the hard work, they still get paid the same.
yeah.
But the reason why I didn't take a 92 golf, which is a culinary specialist, is
Mhm.
because I know what I want from the army.
Yes.
My recruiter kept on telling me, "Oh, you can take this job, or you
You
can
can
reclass."
change it
Of course,
later.
yeah, of course you can reclass, but the thing is, it's not gonna be easy because those jobs that don't have people, they're gonna tie you down until your contract is over.
Yes.
I was like, nah, I can't do it. We went back and forth for weeks. Then later, I was like, you know what? I guess we just not gonna work.
Yeah.
So I changed my recruiter. I went to another one. This time my recruiter came from Maryland. She was awesome. So when she picked my profile, she was like, "Oh yeah, I think I could get you a good job." So I wanted something that will be useful in the civilian world because guess what? The army is gonna take your time. You need a job that you can do in the civilian world that if you leave the military today, you
You
can definitely do.
yes.
So one of the jobs that is the most easiest, that is hot in demand right now, is a 92 Yankee, a
Mm.
unit supply specialist. You work closer to the seat of power. You
Okay.
work close with your command, like you are like the PA to
Mm.
your command, handling all the receipts and everything. So you are the one to do that. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna see how I can get you this job. So when we called places to see how they can get that job. So it wasn't forthcoming. She was like, you know what? I think you may have to go rewrite it again.
Mm-hmm.
But she reached out to her superiors. They're like, hey, I have this profile, but this job is not coming forth. So that was when the superiors they gave me that job because I merited it. It wasn't a call, it was a job I merited. But at that point in time, you had so many people taking the jobs, and then it was on preference according to what you score. So my score wasn't that great. So I was like right at the back. So I just had to take what comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Which finally, by God's grace, I definitely picked up that job, which is what I'm doing right now.
Oh, okay. That's good. So, so I guess, well, people need to understand that if you're working with one recruiter and you feel that they are not, they cannot help you achieve your goals, then feel free to change recruiters.
Yeah,
You are not under any obligation. For us Africans, sometimes we feel that I've let this man suffer too much. Let me just stay here. I've let this lady do too
that's your
much
kind.
work. Let me do. No, you are not obliged to use that person, because just think about your goal, your end goal, what you want to achieve. If this person is not able to assist you there, don't feel bad leaving them. Just leave them, move on to another recruiter. Just like yours, you were able to get a recruiter who was able to go above, making calls, trying. Sometimes there are some recruiters, they might not, they might not be inclined to, like, why would I want to call these people and ask anything? Like, just
Yeah.
what I give you, right? But some recruiter might be willing to, like, hey, let me call. I have friends in this other place. Let me call and see. So I think that is a really good thing that you were willing to change recruiter and move on to somebody else.
But no hard feelings for those who want to be 92 Gov culinary specialist. I mean, it's a great job, but I know where I was going and I know what I wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
it is all about preference. It's all about what you want. You don't want to be stuck with something you're not doing for the next 4 years of your life. Trust me, you will hate yourself. Like it's gonna be miserable every single day.
Yeah, I mean, and that's right. I think nobody should even take offense to the fact that you don't want to be a CS, right? Because for them, it might be somebody's goal that, hey, I want to do this, and when I get out of the military, I want to be a chef. I want to do this, right? For you, that is not your main goal. You are looking at
Definitely.
life after the military. So you not wanting to settle with one job, that is a personal decision. So people are free to choose that. Somebody may score really high and say that, you know what, I want to be a CS. Maybe it's because of what they want to do when they get out. But for you, that is, you have your own goal. So I think that people should have a goal, that this is what I want to do in the military. And when I get out, this is what I want to do with that career. And that should guide you in the job that you accept or the jobs that you take in the military. All right. So after you were able to get the job that you wanted, how long did it take you to prepare? So all this while, were you preparing, like, I'm talking about physical fitness?
Yeah, I was preparing for physical fitness because when you go to basic, you're gonna do a lot of running, a lot of squatting, a lot of, like push-ups,
Push-ups.
everything. So I started by cutting down on fizzy drinks like the sodas. So I wasn't taking any soda. I was just like taking Gatorade that I was doing. Then at least I could do some physical exercises because I tell you, basic is gonna hit you hard if you don't go like fit. So
Mm.
yeah, while all this was happening, I was just doing like trying to stay fit and make sure that I eat healthy. So at that point in time, I developed a diet that I was eating broccoli and other kind of stuff that are healthy to be able to prepare myself for the journey ahead.
Yes, so that was the time that you need to exchange whatever African food that you enjoy. You
It was tough. It was tough.
Yes, those Ghanaians, you're going to exchange fufu, banku, jollof rice. You're
Yeah,
going to exchange that for broccoli. That thing, no taste in broccoli. But because you want to reduce your weight, you have to, do stuff like that. Yeah, that's really good. So, when you went for like your maps, right? What were the things that you didn't expect but happened there? Like, how did it go when you were going? How were you dressed for the day?
well, MEPS is like it's crazy because you go a day before for
Mhm.
MEPS, you go to a recruiting station. So, like I said, you don't need to work with a recruiter from your state. You can work with any recruiter from anywhere, and she's gonna connect you to the closest recruiting station beside you. So
Oh,
they'll be expecting you there, and they are the ones in charge to drive you down to the hotel,
oh, okay.
which means the military takes care of your hotel bills for that night and all your meals. The
Oh,
very next day, you guys get up very early, heading down to the military entrance processing station, or
okay,
MEPS for short.
okay.
So when you get there, you have a little bit taste of a military life because they say no phones, no talking, nothing inside the building because it's a federal building. So you guys have to keep your phones aside. And then the checks are crazy because the military wants to make sure that you're entering fit.
Okay.
So when you get in, you're gonna be signed in. They're gonna give you a name and a back and like your name to put a sticker here for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to talk to anybody. That's how they're gonna identify you. Then it's a whole day of processing because you would get your blood drawn, you're gonna get X-ray, you're gonna get your eyes checked, you're gonna get the hearing. The hearing test almost got me because they would tell you like you get into a room, a very quiet room, like you guys are gonna stand in the column of like maybe four on each row. So then they will tell you to put on a headset, you wear your headset, then you hold a button, so for every time you hear a beep in that headset, you press it immediately. So you want to see how fast you respond to sound.
Mm-hmm.
So the more the beep, like at one point in time, the beeps is dropping, like the volume is dropping.
Uh-huh.
So you gotta be pressing it. So I failed that the first time. So
Yeah.
they asked me, I was like, I don't really understand what you guys were saying. So they had to call me, explain it to me word after word,
Mm-hmm.
then I was able to do it again. Then
Okay.
for those who are like panicking when they take your vitals, your heartbeat, if your heart rate is up, then you would go through more and more checks.
Oh, okay.
Then you get there, they're gonna take your urine. If maybe you're not feeling as to ease yourself, they'll give you a bunch bottles of water to drink. So once that is done, then they'll now take you to another room where they will measure your fat composition and how fat you are, how tall you are. So the military uses a system where a certain height has to match with a certain weight.
Yes.
So if that doesn't go, they now take your is the body fat composition. I don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So by then I was able to qualify for the body fat composition because I was a little bit over the weight
Mm-hmm.
per my height.
Okay.
They'll have to pat you down. Like you're gonna build your boxes, you're gonna do some squats, movement, and it's crazy inside that room. People checking you as you were born.
Wow.
But male doctors check male, females check females, as in there is no mix up to how it
Oh,
is. That is how they do it.
okay.
So once that is checked out, then if they bring out your contract and then you are okay with the job, then you can go ahead and swear in. So for me, I wasn't okay with the job. I just did just the medicals for that day.
Okay.
Yeah, then I had to come back another time to swear in.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when you swear in, that means that you have accepted the contract.
Yeah, it's like you swear in like two or three times because once you do the last one, it is binding by law.
Then
Meaning,
you
always,
can't change your mind. If you change your mind, they go arrest you.
yeah. So they're gonna ask you the first time, are you sure? They're gonna read out your contract to you, read out the grade you're entering and everything. You say, yeah, I'm sure, right on. So the lieutenant is gonna come in and swear you.
Oh,
Then you guys will have another downtime. Then once you guys swear in, now you guys want to now do the final part of it. It's gonna call you one after the other. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you sure you're ready? Is anybody forcing you to join the army? No, it's something I want to do. So they're gonna be like, all right, know that once you put your fingerprint here, it is binding by law. You cannot change it. So once you give the green light, you hit your fingerprint on it, that's it.
wow. 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 I'm sure if at that time if they were to take your heart rate at that time, it would be like
Yeah,
through the
you
roof.
have all the adrenaline pumping and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a very stressful moment because you have to stand, you're sweating with other people, not knowing where your career is gonna go to and just being optimistic.
Yeah.
Because when I asked somebody there, I asked a veteran like, how can I be successful in the army? He said, just be like a sponge where you accumulate everything,
Okay.
then weed out the bad ones and then use the good ones to make yourself comfortable in the military. So I guess so far that has been helping me in my
Yeah.
military career.
I think that's a good advice, and I think that is something that helps. That will help you in every aspect of your life, whether it's in the military, whether even it is a new, moving to a new town, moving to like a new job, like wherever you go, you just want to take in all the information that as much as you can, you soak in that information and then you filter it as time goes on and then adapt it to yourself, right? To see what
Exactly.
will help you, what will not help you. Because in the beginning, everybody will be telling you, like, oh, this, you need to do this. If you want to do this, go here. And then at some point, you're like, this is my goal. Now I know what I want to do. I want to stay on this path. And then you decide which ones you should draw your inspiration from to help you get there. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So that means that for you, so after that day, if you were okay with your job, then would they have brought you home, or that was the day that they were taking you, you were shipping?
Yeah, so if I was okay with my job, I'm gonna meet the army liaison. The
Okay.
army liaison is gonna read out my contract to me and then give me the various dates that they are shipping out to basic training.
Mm-hmm.
So once I'm okay with that, I'm gonna sign the final paperwork, and then he's gonna now hand me my official contracts and paperwork that I'm gonna take to me to training. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when they give you your paperwork to go for the training, do you get to come home again, or like?
Yeah, so it depends. It depends if you're, because for mine, I shipped out in a very short period of time.
Mhm.
So I had like a week. So I
Oh,
had to come back and then maybe just start putting one or two things in order, especially if you have bills, you just want to set up auto pay and see how you can do things. Then on the day that you're like the previous day that you're shipping, or that very day, you
mhm.
need to do the same process again, go to the recruiting station, they're gonna take you to the hotel. Then the very next day, they will give you a flight ticket, they're gonna give you lunch, they will give you like a Department of Defense voucher card, like a check that you can pay because some people at the airport accept that. Yes.
Okay.
And then they will have somebody, if you're going for your basic training, 99.9% times you're going to go to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. So
Oh,
you
okay.
somebody there waiting for you, a drill sergeant, and
Oh,
from
oh,
there on, that is where your military career starts because
okay.
you're the deal breaker from there.
Oh, okay. So, but when do you get your clothing change? Because
You,
if I'm coming from the house to the
yeah,
recruiting station, where
you
do I?
will get it. You mean like get your military clothing?
Yeah, so some people have mentioned that when you're shipping, you are not going with your civilian clothing, right? So at what point do they let you take off your clothing and ship it back home for you, and then they give you?
Okay, so you don't necessarily need to ship your clothing back home. I had my clothing on me, so I put on a civilian. That is what I used in going to South Carolina for Jackson. And then when you get to the airport, they confirm that, hey, everybody on this flight or everybody that come today, these are the people I'm receiving today. They're gonna have you guys form up and you put in your shirt inside your pants. You will take out your phone like a robot, make a call to a family member that you have arrived, and you will be contacting them whenever you get your phone. Once you hang up that call, that phone goes back into your bag. Then you guys will have to file through into the bus. It's called the long, is it the long, the long silent night or something? Because when you guys enter the bus, your head is down, no talking, you're not looking left and right until you get to Fort Jackson, the army base. Then you step on that footprint, that yellow footprint. Then the doors are going to be open where you're going to walk in. At this time, you are still in civilians. You're going to walk in, take a seat. They're going to give you what they call the blue book, which has all the army regulations and everything, They're going to give you your basic training combat book. Then you're going to have a sharp cut because the army is very concerned about sharp, which is sexual harassment prevention.
Mhm.
So it is a big thing too in the army. You're gonna get that as well and read it and make sure you follow what is there. Then you're gonna have one time to empty out your pocket and clear yourself of anything that you've brought. It's called, then there's an amnesty box. If you have drugs, cigarettes, anything, you go drop it in the amnesty box and you will not be charged for anything, like anything.
But like, why would somebody even go there with some kind of drugs?
People go there with pack of cigarettes. People go there with sharp objects, so they don't even want it. If you have like a nail cutter that has the filing, it
Hmm.
is restricted unless you take it off.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
they dump a whole lot of shit. You have to turn your back or and start shaking the things one after another.
Oh, okay.
So only after that, then you're gonna walk into the clothing store where you'll be given what they call the PTs, the army PTs, the black shorts and the black shirts.
Actually, hmm.
That is what they would give you. That would be your first initial clothing. Then you're gonna get this tan. You're gonna get a whole bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
Then it's a whole long night. So that night you're not gonna sleep because from there you will head down to where you're gonna sleep, and they will give you a camelback and a bladder. South Carolina is hot. They don't want people becoming a hit casualty.
Hmm.
So immediately you get your camelback, you see soldiers putting on a little bag, and that's where they store their water. And that'll be part of your uniform for the next, is it 4 or 5 months of your entire training.
Okay.
You will go with it everywhere you go.
Wow. Wow.
So then that is, it's at that point in time where you're going to change now into your summer PTs.
Okay.
That's when you change and just goodbye to civilian clothing until when your entire training is done.
Oh, okay. So when got there, your room, is it like a boarding school, like, Africa
Yeah.
boarding school with it?
So when you get there, it's called a reception, like reception, where you're going to be housed there for 1 week. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like a boarding house where you have like maybe 30 people sleeping in one room
One
and
room.
stuff. Yeah. So that's where you're going to be for the next 1 week. You will get everything processed. For those who are married, they're going to get their wife and kids added on so they can receive BAH, because the army is going to pay your rent. They're going to give you subsistence if you have dependents and stuff like that. So in the army, your family is never going to go hungry or sleep outside.
Okay.
It is also a big thing. Then you go to the hospital, they take your DNA, they take your blood group, everything, they put it in the system.
Okay.
So
All right. So now that you have arrived on your base, walk us through the journey from there.
yeah, okay. So when you leave the airport, you are going to go to a reception base, and reception is normally a week long where they're going to process you into the system. You're going to get your photograph taken for your CAC card, also known as military ID, but we just call it CAC. That's Common Access Card. And then you're going to get your blood drawn, you're going to get DNA samples.
Again?
Yeah, like at reception, that's what you do when you're at reception.
Yes, but didn't you do it at MEPS?
Yeah, you do it at MEPS and then you're doing it again.
Hi, your blood will finish.
I don't know, like, because at MEPS they take your blood, and then when you get there too, they still take your blood, and then they take your DNA. What else again? Yeah, I guess that's it for the medical. Then they do the TB. It's a big thing, so they
Yes.
get that thing inserted into your hand where you don't have to touch it, and then if there is a reaction, they pull you. I had a friend who had whose own came back with a reaction, so it was discovered that he had TB, so he was pulled out to go get treatment. It was funded by the military because he was already in the military. So before he now came back to training.
Oh,
So after that, you're gonna go to your camp. So it's a week long of paperwork processing for you who are married, getting your wife and kids in the system, so you can receive a basic allowance for housing. That's the money the military give you to pay your rent. The basic allowance for subsistence to take care of your family, like put food on your family's table. And then you're gonna get a haircut. By the time you get a haircut, then you should know you're almost about leaving. But it's not a fancy haircut, so don't expect it. It's just,
damn.
so that's literally how they do it. So that's what they're gonna do to you. And then on the day before you ship out, you'll get some vaccinations depending on your health record. But for my when I was shipping out and my team, or those of us who were shipping out, we got four. You have four vaccines that you're taking. They give you 2 year, they give it 2 years. But COVID is optional. If you don't want it, that's fine. They
Okay.
don't have to take COVID.
Okay, so when you said you're going to ship out, so that means that I want to make sure that we understand this part, right? You said this was it's like a reception processing place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is not going to be your final destination.
No, that's the final
This is
decision.
a place to make sure that you are processed into their system, right? So
Yeah,
the MEPS is to make sure that you are qualified and everything to do the military. Now,
yeah,
here is just to make sure that since you have qualified, we need to process you and enter you into our system. Then from there, you're going to go to your actual base for base.
yeah. It's from there you hear it. They will say the Lord like you're gonna ship out. You're gonna ship out. We are shipping you out. Meaning we're shipping you out now to where you're gonna start your basic training.
Oh,
So
okay.
there are different companies. It depends on the availability of.
Okay.
There would always, no matter what you're doing in training in the big army, you will always have somebody on duty.
Okay.
We take turns every hour. So maybe we are like lined up, maybe we are sleeping like from bed 1 to 10. So bed one is gonna take the shift 9 to 10. Bed two gonna take 10 to 11. Bed three 11 to 12. Bed four 12 to 1. Bed five 1 to 2 till it's like 5 a.m. So the people who get the worst shift are people from like 3 to 4 because you have just about an hour to sleep before wake up.
And
That
you
is like
can
fire guard. Yeah. So for fire guard, you have to dress up, you get up, you put on your OCPs, like your uniform, then you sign in. Okay, I have 52 people available, 52 people present, 52 people sleeping. We clean this. Because you can get checks at any time in the night. Like your drill sergeant can come in at 2 a.m. in the night with your supervisors, making sure that everybody is there. And we always get in trouble because we have that one person who gets up and doesn't want to dress up, want to remain in PTs. And now when he gets caught, guess what? They're gonna get everybody up.
all of you.
You're not even
Ha!
get up at 2 a.m. and you're doing push-ups in the night because somebody did not put on the uniform. Because that is how crazy it is.
You know, if it wasn't in the military, trust me, like in Ghana we say, boys the bono papa.
I know, yeah, like
Like they'll be like, Master, you will behave. Like
I know, like why don't you just put it on so we can sleep? They're gonna wake everybody up, and then guess what? We start doing push-ups at night. Depending, you could go for like an hour, 30 minutes.
yeah.
Then when you get back to sleep, you're so tired
Yeah.
because somebody didn't put on the uniform.
Yeah. I
That
remember
is
like
how, yeah. So when you join the military, that's what's gonna be your life, like your military career. You have to take like fire guard. But when you get into the big army, once you're done with trade doc, so trade doc is training status. Once you get into FOSCOM, maybe because you could be sent to FOSCOM or you could be sent to work in a trade doc environment like maybe Fort Jackson. So once you get there, there's what they call CQ. So that one is even worse because you have a 24-hour shift to be at CQ. So you spend 24-hour shift there. Everybody, the drill sergeants, they take 24-hour shift at CQ desk because there is not a day there would not be anybody in that office. Never.
wow.
As the army exists.
Dang. Wow, wow. You know, like talking about the fire guard where you said if somebody doesn't, do what they're supposed to do and they punish all of you guys. It just reminds me of like in high school, boarding school, like first year, freshman, and then somebody does something. One of our mates will do something, and then they're like, "Oh, from one's down." We're like,
Yeah, like
what did we do? Like, and then they'll
you
punish
have
all
someone
of us.
you have somebody messing it up, and it's gonna affect you because even during phone time, maybe they say, okay, everybody's gonna because you get your phone. I know people are gonna be wondering because you get your phone taken away from you in basic training. You're gonna be giving your phone once a week for 30 minutes, and then over the weekend, like on Sundays, you're gonna get it for like 2 hours approximately.
Okay.
There are people who are still gonna screw up.
Yeah.
And the drill sergeants have the right to take away your phone privileges for that week.
Wow. So you can only, so there are certain times that you can use the phone and
Yeah,
for a specific time range.
yeah. But if you have problem, let's say you have an issue with your pay, then you can request your drill sergeant to give you your phone. And it's not by giving you to use it, it's by giving maybe to call your bank right there in front of him with a battle body present to make sure they rectify your pay, you switch it off, give it back to them.
Oh, okay. So it's not for you to just go and lay on your bed and then be
Yeah, so at times
scrolling
you could be
through
seeing
Facebook.
messages from people, but you cannot reply, and people be like, "Oh, I'm texting you, and you're not replying me."
And
But it's just a tight situation that I'm in.
yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Like you don't know what I'm going through right now.
I know it's a very tough moment. I must say, it's a very tough moment.
Wow, wow. So you guys go through this training for how many weeks?
It's like 10 weeks.
10 weeks. Wow,
When you're
that's
done
mm,
with that, you go now to what they call AIT, Advanced Individual Training.
okay.
That will be dependent on your job and the length at which you have to study that job. So at
Okay.
times you could get 8 weeks for your job training. Some people get 6, some people get up to 30 something weeks.
Hmm. So, whilst you went on training, did you hear somebody who couldn't finish the training?
Yep, a lot of people. That is
Wait,
why
is it that they didn't pass their PT or they just gave up at some point?
some people gave up, some people didn't pass certain things. And I am telling you, those of you who are joining the military, be 100% triple, quadruple sure this is what you want to do. Because when you get in, leaving the military, it's the most difficult thing ever. Because you could be kept. Maybe let's say you go to basic training and you're like, oh, I can't do this. I want to quit. Guess what? The military can keep you there for 6 months to get your paperwork processed. It is legal.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't just do something for 10 weeks, just 2 months, rather than sitting there for the next 6 months or more just to get your discharge papers?
Yeah.
We had people who quit. We had people who got discharged for medical reasons. We
Okay.
had people who could not make the score for a certain training, and
Mm.
they got recycled. The
Wow.
biggest fear we had at the time was being recycled. It
What
is the most.
what is a recycle?
Recycle means you're going to start it all over again, or you just wait. If so, there are two ways to recycle. If you have a company, another company somewhere which at the level of which you did not pass it, so you just heavily go up there and join. But if you have no company,
Then you
then
have
you start it from the beginning. Because I had a friend who didn't pass his rifle marksmanship because you need to qualify with your weapon with
hmm
backup iron sight. So he didn't qualify. And then at that time, unfortunately, all the companies had graduated. We were the last to graduate, the last battalion to graduate. So there was nowhere to send him to.
Okay.
Had to wait for the next one that picks up. Then they have to send him back to the beginning, red face.
Then
So
so
that
it's like when you're in, you might as well do your very best to
we have
get it one time and for all.
do
Yeah.
more than the very best. I don't know. I've forgotten the score you need to qualify with the backup iron sight, but you need to have a certain targets that you shoot
Mhm.
to qualify with the iron sight. Because I mean, the army wants you to train on that because technology fails. You could have your CCOs
Mhm.
failing you, and then you now have to do the traditional method. So he didn't qualify on that. There are people who fall out on the rocks. If you
Then
talk to most people in the army, they're gonna tell you, hey, the army is easy, you know. So we have three phases. We have red phase, we have white phase, and we have blue phase. So white phase is just rifle marksmanship. You go to the range, you're shooting the whole day, shooting, shooting, shooting to get your weapon zeroed so that on qual day you're able to qualify. So you qualify both with the iron sights and with the CCOs.
mhm.
You need to qualify to complete white phase. Then Blueface is now where the drill sergeants are laxed with you guys. They are now friendly. At least you've now done it a whole lot. So they start teaching you military tactics, how to do all those good stuff. And then you're going to have what they call the last rock you're going to do, or the last exercise is called the forge. It's 4 days. Some people are going to claim, oh, it's easy. Yeah, it may be easy for some people, but the forge is tough. It's 4 days long, and it's like you guys, approximately, you'll be walking about 60 miles in 4 days.
Wow.
There is nowhere to take a shower. You literally stay in the bush. You put your sleeping mat, you have your sleeping bag and your sleeping system. That's where you sleep for 4 days. So we left around 5 p.m. We got to our first stop by midnight. We had to do tactical equipment movement.
Okay.
Carry some certain equipment, took it to the other side, hand it over. Then by the time we are reaching our base where we are supposed to stay for the night, it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. And then you have to get up at 5 to start your day. So there's nothing there like taking a shower or anything.
Damn.
So that is where they now incorporate everything that you've learned. They now bring it together.
Okay. That makes sense.
And then the one now that is tough, because at the end of it, or when you guys are about leaving, your drill sergeants are gonna congratulate you guys for making it this far, but you're not there yet. It's remained the last activity, which is a 10-mile rock. And then you're carrying like maybe a 30 or 40 pounds weight. You're carrying your weapon. You're wearing your helmet. Your boots are heavy. Everything on your body, if you have to weigh it, you could be going to around 60, 70 pounds. It's heavy.
Wow.
Then you start the 10-mile rock. You guys can start around midnight, and you may be getting to the finishing line by 5 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
So that is where you actually say that you've made
I feel like I'm done. No.
Yeah, people shed tears. That is where you can wear the army patch. That's where you can wear your beret, because the commander is now going to come. You guys are no more trainees. You're now soldiers, because you've done it. Because the forge, I had a friend who was like, the forge was a do or die affair for him. He was my very good friend, and he literally had no legs. He had blisters at the back of his legs, like his flesh was literally coming out.
Dang.
I watched him cry, but he was like, he was gonna do it. Every step he took, he shed a tear.
Wow.
You'll be moving through all sort of terrain. You'll be moving through thick sand where you have to drag yourself. I mean, little hills and stuff like that.
Wow.
You have rest, like short time to rest, but then again, it's still not enough.
Yes.
Yeah, because the finishing line is Hilton Field, because that's where graduation takes place. You see Hilton Field from that very end, you're like, I gotta do this.
Yes.
Stand at the back. If you fall out, they just put you in the van and know you have to redo it again. You're not graduated.
Wow.
So when you see Hilton Field, you are marching it along, no matter whether you're crying. My friend was literally shedding tears every step he took.
Can you crawl? Can you crawl?
You can do anything possible, but just don't fall out.
Keep going. Okay.
Just don't fall out. Yeah, that's the essence of it.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna have your drill sergeants encouraging you. You're gonna have your battle buddies pushing you to your limit. You're gonna have people be like, hey, can you lean on me while I push you? So you're leaning on him, and then his body is now pushing both of you guys forward.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Pushing both of you guys forward. Wow. You have to carry your weapon all the time like this. You have your weapon with you all the time. You have your flute, you have your magazines, you have your rucksack. And I'll tell people, for the rucksack, make sure the rucksack sits way above your waist a little bit, so it can give you that good room. Try to strap it so tight to your back, and it's hard.
So that, are you saying in kind of like how we carry babies in Africa? So your bag should sit on top of your,
yes, it should sit at the top. So mine, when I put on my rucksack, it was big, and then I'm going to bend down, try to pull it to the top. then
Then
strap it
strap
on.
it
Yeah,
down,
so like
tighten
really
it.
tight.
Mhm.
So it now sits there, so my waist is not affected.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So the whole weight is now centralized on that small portion of your back. Even your neck too is not affected.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip. Yeah, definitely. I remember to use that.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, because it's gonna be crazy. Then you're gonna have the painting, since it's a tactical environment, you're
Uh-huh.
gonna have the paint and stuff.
Yeah. Is it black and green paint too?
Most probably you put the paint according to the environment, since you guys are going to green vegetation. So
Oh,
you put green, you have you can like maybe everybody has watched like a war movie or
yes, I remember
all
that.
the things. Yeah, that's how you have to put it.
But imagine that you do that and then now you're crying.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets soiled that day. Like everybody gets soiled. You see, ladies, their hair is all scattered. Like you just want to complete this because
It's
doing this
like,
thing
Soldier,
again,
don't cry.
yeah. People. I mean, it is okay to cry, but we are always
Yeah, right.
always be
Mm,
there for people. It is definitely okay to cry because when
mm.
you are done with that, now you're now officially a soldier. You start preparing for Family Day. Family Day is a day where you look at yourself and you are so proud of how far you've come.
You've come.
Because now you can run the 2 miles, you can do the push-ups, you can do the pull-ups, you are proficient in your weapon, you can shoot, you can engage targets, you can treat bullet wounds in the field, you can even rescue your body bodies from car crash, helicopter crash, and all that good stuff. Then you would see your family on that day where you guys like on Family Day, you guys are gonna be so the way the stand is located, the stand face like a little forest. You guys will be in that forest. Your family doesn't know that you guys are there. The
Oh,
battalion commander is gonna be talking, talking, talking. And then when he's done, he's gonna sit down. People are gonna be like, "Oh, wow, the soldiers! Our new soldiers."
mhm.
The family at the stage will just be hearing like blast of like this cannons, boom, boom, boom. Then there
Yeah.
is smoke everywhere. Then they will tell you guys to come forward. Your family doesn't know you guys are coming out. So you guys are gonna come out, stand at parade rest with your hands on your back. So at the time when the smoke is getting cleared, your family would now see their brand new soldier. It is a day of
Oh,
immense joy. You see families trying to rush down to the stage. Like there is a lot of security because they can contain the joy.
yes.
They can contain it. Then you're gonna march forward and come and see your family. Now you're a soldier. Now you talk as a soldier. You behave as a soldier. You are disciplined. You're respectful, and it is a day where family shed tears a lot.
Wow. I can imagine. Like it's like everything that you're saying. It's
Yeah,
like I'm right there.
it is. It is.
You are,
It
it's
is
like I'm
serious.
imagining that in my head. So
Family day. Nah, your family should not miss family day because
yeah.
graduation day. I mean, they have already seen you the previous day, so it is okay. But the day there's certain eyes on you, family day, it is a big day because you have those cannons and there is smoke everywhere. You guys come out like, and the commander will be like, "Hey, you can meet your brand new soldiers. We've
Oh,
trained them for you."
oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. But yeah, thank you so much for, taking your time to share your journey with us. This story is so amazing. So, guys, brother Rocky